Today, we are going to talk all things cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So to do that, we need to understand it's all about money, banking, and it would not be possible without the internet. So in 2008, many of you may remember we had the financial crisis, which started in September when Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy. And after that, the entire financial system almost collapsed. So during this time, there were many protests. I remember seeing them in Lower Manhattan about people protesting, and we realized we cannot trust the banks. So how do we do business without the banks? So in August of 2008, Satoshi Makamoto publishes a white paper. So a white paper is really, I have an idea, give me some feedback. So he published the white paper. And what we know about Satoshi Nakamoto is very little. We know he was 35 when he published it. He was male, Japanese, and he disappeared in 2010. But he was an amazing man. And in his Bitcoin or blockchain white paper, he wrote, let's create a system that we don't use the banks, that we bypass the banks. So when we do business directly, peer to peer. So the potential to create a central ledger, that was possible. And we create a digital currency. So we no longer need to use money issued by the bank. So Bitcoin started in 2009 when Satoshi Nakamoto mined the very first block called the Genesis block of Bitcoin. And that launched the Bitcoin network as open source. And open source development is great because everyone works together and it goes much faster than when I or you work on it ourselves. So the cryptocurrencies use a blockchain and the money is called Bitcoin. And it's different from other currency. There's no coin, paper notes, debit cards, anything. It only exists online. So to understand how magnificent this was, we need to understand what does the banks do. And banking for us is a store of value, something that cryptocurrencies today can be. It is also the transfer of payments, and that is the beauty of it, that you can make payments. But when you make a payment or transfer of value, the most important thing to know is this real or not? So that's why we use banks, because they can verify if something is real or not. And the bank uses a ledger to track the transfer of value. So to understand transfer of value is not so easy. And there's a problem called double spending. When I talk to people, they will say to me, we've never heard of double spending. So let me explain. What is double spending? This is a photo of me and my husband last year when we had our first COVID shot. I took the photo and I emailed it to my family. I posted it in Facebook. I sent it via WhatsApp to my friend in London as well as to my friend in New Zealand. And now there are 4 copies of that same photo that exist around the world. So what if that was song or money and you have unlimited copies of this? You cannot just go and Xerox your money. So Satoshi solved that problem. So if it was money or a gift card, we would have double spending. So if you have a Starbucks card or an Amazon card, you cannot take your Starbucks card and pay for it on Amazon because you cannot verify what is the value of the card. So that's why we use the banks, because they can verify transactions. But what Satoshi Nakamoto proposed is we no longer need the banks. We can do it on our own. So when we use the banks, it takes 1 to 14 days. But in crypto world, it's instantaneously. So their ledger is shared by everyone, and it's called a blockchain. And how do you get Bitcoin? You mine it. So tomorrow, we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper. But please like, subscribe, and stay in touch that you can stay up to date of this very interesting and exciting series on the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.